Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Bada boom. Oh, you know what? I should have, pulled up all of my chat windows before I even started streaming. My bad. Let's just pull this up here really quick. It's okay. Only you people watching it on replay even see this part anyways, right? Most people don't pop in until I post the link in the Discord. All right. And here we go. Streaming. There's that. And pull up the Twitch dashboard too. Or, no, not Twitter. Nobody cares about Twitter. No, we care about Twitter. Oh my gosh. Fun stuff on Twitter last night. I can't even. So great. Oh man. Oh, how come I? There we go. There's the dashboard. Okay. Good. And good. Okay, we got some people in here now. All right. So let's look at the overnight action. Oh my, all of my windows in NinjaTrader started minimized. That sucks. Okay. Down. All right. So we'll pull over ZN. So after I left, it went up. Went up pretty significantly. I think the bond even went up even more, didn't it? You guys were, sounded like some of the guys in the chat room made it go, oh yeah. Made a good play on going along there. Which I actually think was kind of almost better than the move that I caught, isn't it? Well, that happens often. On a longer term chart, let's pull the longer term chart. We're actually kind of at the top of this range, but we haven't got busted through, where the initial down move on this trending day came from. So my bias is still low, still lower. But the main thing is we got some news, right? So what are we expecting on the jobs numbers today? Let's just pull these out of the way. Grab that one. I'm super anal about getting my windows all perfectly lined up. You see how I've got the grid? It's supposed to be all perfect and everything. I wish Windows came with something that allowed, just made it perfect for you. Okay. Friday. So we are looking for 1.8K on the employment change. Okay. Let's see if we can get the squawk today. It hasn't been working, but we'll try it again. This is the financial juice page, right? We'll do tweet deck, so we get good news through that. Financial juice. Okay. So I like the audio, but if we can't get the audio, then okay. Well, we'll see if it works. I don't think it's gonna work. Okay. So 1.8K, given that we outperformed the other numbers, I guess there's a chance that we'll outperform this on the non-farm. Oh, sorry, non-farm isn't. Employment change is 1.8, but non-farm is 190K. I think we'll probably beat that. An unemployment rate maybe could go up actually, because we did have a lot of unemployment claims. But I'm biased down. And I could take anywhere here above 155, I think. So those seem to be critical levels yesterday, and then maybe we get a push down through the bottom. But they've been pretty adamant pushing back down there many times now, so I'm gonna be super careful. What's this? Why is that there? Yeah. Okay, so We've got 10 minutes. I think I haven't eaten yet, so I will stuff my face here in the break. You guys got any? Well, let's pull up the chat. Any questions in the chat? Nothing yet. I guess we should also look at the cryptocurrencies. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Bitcoin actually did finally take a move up, but no change in cumulative delta. That's interesting. How does it look like on the longer term chart? Just kind of another quiet step up, but there's still this pivot here. So it's not super exciting yet, but there was some okay volume on that move up. You see that? It's like the only time it moves is when there's a little bit of buy volume. It's kind of odd. It's because nobody's actually selling. Like we got down to 1300 and all of these guys that got in there are just holding it. Well, that's the problem. You want to bet against Bitcoin, right? They don't ever sell. And let's just look at CoinMarketCap at some of the coins that are like, oh, Ripple is up again. Ugh. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I guess Ripple's okay. I just don't believe that Ripple deserves the number 2 spot. I feel like Ethereum does. But whatever. Where's Bitcoin Cash's chart? It's actually, Bitcoin Cash actually looks like it's in an okay spot here. Yeah. It could come down a little bit. You notice that the last buy spike didn't go as high as the first one, even though market cap went higher. The people have been selling it still. I still think that Bitcoin Cash is a okay play. I also wanted to look, where's our Riblox? It's 17 now. Wow. Look at that one. Okay, I'm still expecting it to come down. It was 4, right? Yeah, it was 4 when we first started talking about it. So it hasn't moved that much. It's just gained a lot of market cap. And where's our C coin? Okay, so C coin is 31 now. Ooh, and they're having a good run. They had a good run last night. What are we at? 0.05. So I wonder, where's my calculator? Circulating supply. Copy. So if we take the supply and we times it by 5. Okay. So 156 billion to times 100 for it to go up 100 times price. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I just want to go back. So what would that take us to? Okay, so we'd have to be 156 billion in market cap. Okay, so to get to $5, we'd have to be like bigger than Ripple, right? But for it to be worth $1, which I think is realistic, it would just be equal to that. That would bring our market cap up to be $1 billion. So like Ethereum Classic has $1 billion in market cap, Quantum has $1 billion in market cap. Yeah, I think that's doable. So that kind of maybe gives us a target on C coin. Okay, so we're gonna have 5 minutes here, and I think that they're all gonna pull early. So let's take a few bites here.
Fran said, geez, look at the ES.
Yeah, it just keeps going, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm not planning on taking a trade like immediately here when it hits. Oh.
Fran said, that's what we keep saying, but every day it's the same thing, ES up, bonds, anyone's guess.
Ten seconds.
Okay, so my squawk is working, but it's already come through.
228,000 changing non-farm payrolls. Unemployment rate comes in at 4.1%.
Fran said, and here comes another mess.
0.3% year-on-year, 2.5%. Changing private payrolls, 146,000. Changing manufacturing payrolls, 25,000. Average weekly hours comes in at 34.5. Labour force participation rate, 62.7%.
Below said, hot damn.
Underemployment rate comes in at 8.1%. The two-month payroll net revision, see a drop of 9,000. Trade balance for November, a deficit of 50.5 billion US dollars. Moving on to the Canadian number, and the net change in employment comes in at 78.6 thousand. The unemployment rate 5.7%. Full-time employment change 23.7. Part-time employment change 54.9. Participation rate comes in at 65.8. And the international trade merchandise trade figure comes in at
Fran said, non-farm payrolls. M/M change 228,191,160,000 to 210,100.
The average hourly earnings month on month, last month's 0.2%, revised down to 0.1%, and the year-on-year number last month's 2.5, revised down to 2.4. We also saw the private payrolls last month's 221k, revised up to 239k, and the US trade balance last month's deficit $48.7 billion, revised down to a deficit $48.9 billion. And for the Canadian numbers, the international merchandise trade number, the prior deficit of 1.47 billion Canadian dollars, revised down to a deficit of 1.55 billion Canadian dollars.
Okay, so because this was not the move that we were expecting, nor the numbers that, I mean, I'm not talking about like the expectation number, but my own expectations. I'm going to wait probably about 5 minutes and see where it settles before I take any trades. That was a pretty bad miss, 148 versus 190, but the unemployment rate went down 0.3. Like what the heck is going on? And the trade balance number was fairly significant too. Look at that. Yeah, so now your question is how far, if it keeps going up, how far could it go? And the focus was also on wage growth, but wage growth was as expected, and it was 0.3, not the 0.2 that we've been getting.
Dollar hanging around day lows at the moment. Got cable trading 135.75, euro dollar 120.76, dollar yen 113.12. Although we are off the highs at the moment in cable and euro dollar, we haven't pulled back too far after those weak and expected NFPs.
So we're like well above third standard deviations now. Looks like hourly earnings are up. Yeah. It's kind of unusual for the ADP number to be so good and the actual jobs number so bad. I'm having a hard time squaring that away in my mind.
Alligator said according to Danske Bank.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention here, Justice for Your Gamer saying you can
The same
thank me
pressure I
for
was printing in cable now, 135.82.
you can thank me for the Bitcoin surge. I hadn't bought any altcoins for years until today. Minutes later, they dumped for Bitcoin. I knew they would happen though, so I'm up overall. Yeah. You wanted to make a move, all you got to do is go in and buy it, and all of a sudden it will do the opposite thing you want it, right? No, Alligator was saying ADP is not a good predictor of non-farm payroll according to
Fran
Danske
said,
Bank.
yeah, I've wondered about that. Some people look to ADP as an important number.
Well, the thing though is, okay, so maybe it's not predictive, but for them to be complete opposites, like what the heck?
Alligator said danskresearch.danskebank.com. Alligator said why?
Yeah, see, Alligator seems to agree. They're like the complete opposite. Ah, yeah. There we go. Cool. Well, I don't know if I can even make a trade here.
Fran said hi. Alligator said I guess a lot of insti are going to search why before jumping.
So just look a bit more closely at the Canadian jobs report. That Canadian jobs report now raises odds with the Jan 17 rate hike, so raises the odds of a rate hike this month in Canada to 50-50.
Alligator said I was hoping for a rare bigger move, this time, but no, as usual, seems technicals dominate, reversion.
And we have seen the dollar CAD react to that. We've gone from above 125 before number to sub 124 after those much bigger than expected Canadian unemployment numbers.
Fran said 6J tanking.
So, US equities news. Airbus in talks to sell at least 100 aircraft to China during the Macron visit. That's coming from sources close to the news.
So I'm just kind of looking through here trying to find an explanation for why the number was so bad. But frankly, some of the reaction from the market seems nonsensical too. So look, we're heading back to the view up. We're pretty close here, in fact. Well,
Tucker said IMO interesting that the move down past 245 isn't very stop run in nature. Sure, it's downwards, but the auction is pretty orderly and large buyers and sellers are present on both sides.
No, it's not. Yeah. The thing is that, look, okay, so there was a bunch traded here at the top, but then look, 3,000, 1,000, 1,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. And here on the other side, 45, 5, 83. And then, so it's kind of weird. See, the 5-year didn't seem to heat it either. See, we're gonna come out here and find that Wall Street shakes off weak jobs report. Let's gotta figure out here. Okay, average hourly earnings increased by 2.5%. That was because it was 0.2 versus 0.3, right? Less than expected. Let's see what Zero Hedge has to say about it. Yeah. Meh Lehman on Twitter pointing out ZNF does not look bullish to me after the non-farms payroll. It is not. Look at the cumulative delta. They are selling it. And here we're almost to the VWAP, which means that I could short it from here. Okay. Yeah, non-farm payrolls is now printed below ADP for 11 months. Oh, okay. Prior month revisions were bad. They're reading that came in, average hourly earnings came in as expected, suggests no major surprises to the Fed's dots timetable. I think that even if you take the Fed's dot timetable, that we should be lower, but I'm probably wrong about that too. Okay, now stock futures are at their high of the day. How is the E-mini doing this? This is crazy. Okay, so ZF did kind of bounce off the VWAP. We did bounce off the VWAP. There was buying there.
Alligator said flattening, surprised that ZT is unchanged.
Yeah, well, I don't think that this news changes the Fed expectation, right?
Tucker said, happy face, agreed with the flattening. Report brings volatility which allows big boys to maneuver their positions.
We did steepen a little bit.
Alligator said makes sense.
Interesting day. This is definitely the most interesting trading day in a while. I think the news is just what it is. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to find a reason for what anything the market does. Some big boy might have needed an event to buy, and so they did. Yeah, I don't know. Here's where my mind is at. Okay, I've seen larger moves off of smaller misses, and it was a pretty bad miss. And the ZF, that the 5-year and the 2-year are like basically unmoved, if not selling, and the E-mini has completely ignored it. So the question is, why did the jobs number, why was it so bad? Was it just that the the estimate was unrealistic? You know, why was the estimate wrong? Where is the particular slice that didn't come through the way that it was supposed to? Because sometimes you can look at that and you can say, oh, well, that was just because of the hurricane, or, you know, that was just because it's winter time, or this thing happened, or it was this one specific company or something like that. And so you can kind of say, well, okay, so we have to discount that a little bit from the numbers because it's not necessarily indicative of what's happening in the larger economy, right? But nobody's saying that.
So we're just getting some comments now from Bill Gross saying bond bear market, yes, but won't lose a lot of money. Good news in the bond market is headed for a mild bear market.
A mild bear market, huh? Every single memo Comey leaked was classified. That's interesting. Just, okay, so one analyst guessed a lower number. Okay. Here it is. Here was the predictions. One guy. Waiters and bartenders.
Alligator said FXStreet.com, we fade the upside surprise in ADP employment as payrolls have tended to underperform ADP on average in the month of December since the crisis. TDS analysts.
Seeing chances of a Bank of Canada rate hike in January rising to more than 60%. So, reading from the Canadian Overnight Index swaps data.
Okay. Financial sector is seeing the strongest growth, with wages rising 3.6% in December from a year earlier. Okay. We fade the upside surprise in ADP unemployment as payrolls have tended to underperform ADP on average in the month of December since the crisis. Okay, so here's an article from FX Street that's saying that this happens every year. Because now we're below the VWAP. Anybody want to sell it? Likely a pivot there, though. No, they're gonna fight it out, I guess. 21.5 was a fight area yesterday too, I guess. So I have an eye put it there. It's interesting how I'll put that in. I put the eye in when I see a price go back and forth several times, right? It's interesting how often it will come back to those spots and do it again. Nope, we do have some viewers on Twitch today. Hello. We're just kind of watching the aftermath of the jobs number here.
Start of the Belgian Treasury now, as dealers have raised its 2018 GDP growth forecast to 1.7%.
Okay. Anyways, we had a big move up when the number disappointed. Now we're almost where we were. We were at 200. So we gotta get back to that point of control and then see what happens. And in ZB, I think it was the, yeah. 151.30. Yeah, that makes sense. Where was it? I mean, I guess we're kind of below the area that you would expect to see a lot of battling going on. Oops. Let's reset that, and there we go. So it's now been open for 30 minutes. I haven't taken a trade. KE mini may be showing some signs of weakness. You like hearing me pop my knuckles? Probably not. I think that would sound disgusting. I'm sorry. A little bit of weakness maybe in the E-mini new high, but not new high in cumulative delta.
Tucker said, anybody else seeing some buyer absorption of 210?
They've kind of been doing it both ways, actually.
Alligator said be careful as its close settle and often some game there.
Whoops. Silly me. Well, I hope that doesn't make me miss a good opportunity there.
Just Neckery News now, we're seeing shares in Bayer hitting a session high. It's now up 4.4%. That's the top of the DAX index.
Probably not going to get filled. Look at all the people stacking on. But I don't think that 20 or 19
Alligator said why?
Safe entries. Okay, we did get filled. I think that was a BS fill from the simulator. I don't know if in reality we would have actually gotten filled there. Okay. See, that's exactly why I don't want to be in at 20. There's a point of control and they're going to fight for it right there. So we want to be at least one tick above it.
Alligator said all this move looks like a big fade trade.
Let's just say for the sake of because I don't know if that fill at 20.5 was correct, but I would have gotten filled if when I clicked the first time and I wasn't actually connected to the simulator, I would have gotten in. So we're saying that it's
Tucker
still
said
fair.
10K on the bid at 200. Tucker said 1902 at the 205 ask.
Notice here that we came
Below
down.
said the old pump and dump. Tucker said sorry, not on the bid. Already gone through. ETH said GM.
Wow. And look at ZB now looking at its low. Okay, so that tick up was not good, that there was 2,000 immediately there. We do have a 5K in our favor though. Okay, good tick down, good tick. It's 1,000 traded down in the 5-year. The offer in the 5-year immediately came up good and bigger than the bid. And then in the 10-year, they immediately put up 4K. I think actually maybe it was more like 3, but now we're already at 4K. So that's pretty good. That means that we have a good spot at the very least. That doesn't necessarily mean that we'll go lower.
Tucker said on volume from 190 to 210. Likely to see some rotation here. Heath said, Seth, you are stuck on your risk disclosure on your YouTube.
Oh, am I really? Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Why didn't you guys in YouTube say something? Did you say something and I just didn't realize what you were saying? Yep. I did. I'm sorry, guys.
Heath said, there you go.
Let's fix that. There, that's better. Jeez. I'm so dumb. I feel so dumb right now. Okay. Okay, so I want to see this tick down again and see that 5 show up again. And if it doesn't, I'm going to get out. Does that mean that I don't have any of that recorded then? Man, suck. So bad. Because that was good order flow to be able to see. Oh, very important recording and it's not there. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, well. We are just listening to your sexy voice, no video needed. Thank you, HTV. Now, I just feel bad because I know that, I myself, and I know that many other people will watch the order flow afterwards for practice or whatever. And this would have been a really good day to look at in practice, and now they don't have it.
Below said, interesting. Before this decent, the CD in ZB was positive while UB was -3K. Now ZB is -3K CD. Wonder if that CD difference between markets is a good tell for big moves.
Okay. So we're going to take -1 on that. maybe could have scrapped broke even on that one, but I don't want to risk it. What are they saying here in the
Heat
currencies
said, "Woo,
channel?
there was some buying in UB.
Euro USD couldn't break out of the previous high. Okay, so that is a good reason for why we would reverse where we did. And in fact, we read those other stories where they were saying, yeah, we don't think that it's going to make the USD break out here, and this tends to happen every December jobs number, and so the problem with that is that doesn't
Below said, nice lil bounce of the lows so far.
Doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to push lows and test yesterday's low levels. It just means that we could get stuck in a range here, or maybe bubble up higher. Yep. It was only an hour.
Tucker said, I'm trying to work along in the 200/205 zone. Thinking long accumulation similar to Y-day action.
Yeah, so just as in a side note here, I'll pull over this story over here from CNBC. It says AMD is big winner from chip flaw fiasco as more than 11 billion in Intel stock value is wiped out. So I have an AMD CPU. I have a Ryzen. And at first I was like, oh, well, that's okay because I won't be affected by the flaw. But I think there's two problems with that. And let's watch. This is why I'm telling you this. First one is that they're going to have to fix these problems in the operating system, which is going to cause a slowdown for everybody, regardless of which CPU you have, unless you can, you're running Linux and you just, create a special build that doesn't have it built into it or something like that. But number two is, if there's an error like that in the Intel CPU, how much you want to bet that there's something similar in the AMD one that we haven't found yet? I've even seen some, conspiracy theories. Not that I believe conspiracy theories or anything, but a lot of people have been saying, that could have been a backdoor put in by the government, and people found it, and now it's getting plugged. There has been some evidence that
In 10 minutes time we do have the US cash equity open. This worth noting, we did get the US non-farm report this morning, so as US jobs gains slowed by more than forecast in December, and wage gains picked up slightly. The unemployment rate held at the lowest since 2000, was adding to signs of a full employment economy. Forward to today's docket, we do have US factory orders, US durable goods orders, US ISM non-manufacturing PMI, also be getting weekly Baker Hughes rig count and the CFTC report. This is picking up via Moody's now, as US retail and apparel industry woes set to ease as 2018 progresses. In terms of speakers today, we'll be hearing from Fed's Harker speaking on the economic outlook at the AEA, and also from Fed's Mester speaking on a panel on monetary policy coordination.
Can't see. So Justice for Germans.
Looking at equity news to watch now from Sears, has announced it is closing 64 Kmart stores and 39 Sears establishments. The shutdowns are expected to start between early March and April. And looking at Constellation Brands,
Let's turn him off. We don't need to hear him anymore. It should be in the bonds channel. Can you not see it? Just Justice for Germans. Just say something in the general channel, and I'll give you permission so that you can speak in there. Anyways, he was saying could never trust Intel being an Israeli company, spy capital of the world. Well, so there's this there was this 4chan thread a long time ago, like a year ago, and this guy said that he worked for Intel and that he was, on one of the sub design teams, and he had to get his security clearance for it. And he was like, well, why would I need a security clearance? And then, after he got hired, he kind of found out why, and he didn't really go into like any specifics, but it was basically like, oh, I've been going down the rabbit hole for the past year. And basically what he was saying was that, the government was working with Intel to put backdoors in the processor. So, and I think that similar sorts of things have been at least hinted at in WikiLeaks documents, that maybe the government puts backdoors in there. So it's possible, I'm not saying that it is, but it's possible that flaw could have been a backdoor. So, and even if it's not a backdoor, I think that the whole thing is that this makes us aware now that you can have a significant security flaw in the processor itself, which is something that I had never even considered before, right? So is AMD like a good buy here because Intel is doing crappy? I won't be so sure. They might fall victim to the same thing soon. Yeah, I like the squawk, but the squawk also says a ton of stuff that I just don't care about, right? It's kind of a double-edged sword, because they're more focused on Forex is that particular squawk. But they did tell us about like a what was it? There was a block order that went through, and they told us about it, that you couldn't see in the order flow, and the markets eventually pushed down to it. It was a really good trade. If that one isn't the international backdoor, there will be another one. I've gone way down the rabbit hole. All right. So he's saying if that's not the back door, then they're going to find the back door very soon, I'm sure. Could be. Well, the thing that really scared me, and this is not conspiracy theory, okay? This is like confirmed shit, is that I shouldn't swear because YouTube will mark me. Don't report the video. Okay. In that last big trove of WikiLeaks documents, one of the things that we learned was that the government can like shoot a wave at your car that affects the processor built into the car, and that they could use it to cause a car crash. And I've always wondered, like, if you look at any device, like literally any electronic device, and on the back of it, it'll say something like, this device is designed to not send any interference, but it has to accept all interference. And I've always wondered, what is that? Is that like something so that the government can interfere with your electronics? And I think that was pretty much like confirmed that yes, that's exactly what it is they can send electromagnetic radiation, and if they know the chip and they just do it just right, they can make it do something. Now that's freaking scary, right? I'm trying to work along in the 20 half zone, thinking long accumulation similar to yesterday's action. That could be. I don't know. I mean, we did on that push down where I got in. Should have gotten out of that one faster, but when we didn't take another leg, I think that kind of says that we can't go much lower today. And it was one tick higher here in ZN. Look, I wish I noticed this at the time, but one. And then there was the last one. And then there was this pivot. So one tick higher. But then we'd have to deal with 25. So I think what I might do is the problem is that even on that pivot up,
Tucker said Imo, the push down really didn't do much but fill in the gap that we had from the news spike.
Right. So I don't see enough evidence to support me going long right here in this one spot, but it might tell us soon. Yeah, that's the view up. See, they're just going to fight it here. So we can't really know what it's going to do. Supposedly they have wave guns where they can cause people to have heart attacks too. Well, where did you hear that one from? I've thought this is really dumb. Like, I'm going to sound really dumb, but I want to invest in tinfoil hats. Like, I'm dead serious. And not like tinfoil hats, but like hats and clothing with built-in electromagnetic shielding in it. Okay, now that was a pretty hard push right there. Oh, so still going to wait. But and the reason why I got interested in it originally was this weird story from the Cuban embassy, right? You guys have heard about that one, right? Where the guys, they'll be sitting at their desk and they hear some weird sound, and then afterwards they have all of these crazy problems and crazy health problems and stuff, and they don't really know what's causing it, but they think that it's some sort of microwave device where they're shooting microwaves at the person. Kind of like the LRAD, but a different frequency. Yeah, a former counterterrorism advisor to former President Ronald Reagan told the Huffington Post in 2013 that it was possible government forces hacked Hastings' cart. Yep. Seriously. I'm telling you, if there was like a... I actually looked into it, and I looked at all of the online retailers that were selling tinfoil hats, essentially. But the problem is that most of these guys were... Their marketing was focused on, I think that electromagnetic radiation is bad for me, or like I'm sensitive to it. And so all of the clothing was built for that. Whereas I want to invest in tinfoil hats on the expectation that like the government will buy them. I want to sell tinfoil hats. Yeah. I want to sell tinfoil hats to the government. Right. Well, we could make one. I mean, you should show a live stream of yourself trading while wearing a tinfoil hat. I told my wife, like, let's just make, we can go and buy that, like, those blankets, that would make okay shielding, wouldn't it? It's just the tinfoil hat alone will get get more viewers. No, I'm gonna make it a nice one. The problem is like, how do you make? If anything, it would be a great gimmick. 2018, my pet rock. Well, I thought that the bird was a pretty okay gimmick, but it didn't. The problem is the bird doesn't cooperate. You see the video that I posted a couple of days ago, where I was trying to do a video explaining some of the stuff for Patreon, and the bird just completely flipped on me. No, I'm thinking though. See, here's the conundrum that I have with the tinfoil hats, though, because like, we're serious, right? Hats aren't a thing in our culture anymore, right? Like, I mean, maybe like a ball cap, but a ball cap is kind of like way too casual. So I want to make a hat that if I'm a government employee working at an
Tucker
embassy,
said weird.
I can wear
5,000 on bid and holding.
I can wear every day, right? But then you don't want it to be like a fedora, because those have a bad reputation. So what would you do? What kind of a hat would you build it into? Maybe build it into like those military style hats. What do they call those? A beret, or a what's the other kind? Yeah, foil lined hat. That's exactly what I'm saying. You can buy like those. I need to do some tests. So here's the other thing is, because me and my wife have had serious discussions about this, like making tinfoil hats and selling them on Etsy or something. Is how do you prove that the hat works? So do we gonna have to like find something that we know is like really sensitive to electromagnetic radiation, and put it under
Alligator
a hat?
said not much more than other levels.
Put it under a hat, and then put the hat in a microwave, and see that the thing underneath of the hat is okay, or something like that. Like, how do you test it? Because I don't know if a tinfoil blanket is enough shielding or not. I know that, like on your microwave, the reason why you can't see through the window is because there's a metal mesh there to protect you from the microwaves, right? So that's the thing that we need to make. And then the next stage is you can sell, like mesh for
Tucker
your house.
said, I mean, more than the inside market is usually 1,500 x 2,000 or something. Not every day you see 5,000 x 1,500. Alligator said, ES going down. Tucker said, without that 5,000 pulling, I mean.
Yeah, that 5,000 has been what? Yeah, the ES is starting to fall pretty bad. It's below now where the news was. A Faraday cage hat. Yeah, it's a Faraday cage hat. That's exactly what it is. See, the thing is if we decide that the tinfoil blanket isn't enough shielding, I'm sure we could come up with something more, more sturdy. Why even try to conceal the tinfoil hat? Just sport it like you know what's up and everybody does it. Well, okay, sure. So we could make like a futuristic. We could make our own design, and make it all futuristic, and it could look like tinfoil. It could be reflective, but it won't just be like your typical tinfoil hat with pointy. Like it needs to look stylish, right? It needs to look stylish for sure. The thing I think is funny about it is that it's not like a crazy thing though, right? Like, so we know for a fact it is documented. It's a big news story this last year, even though not everybody has heard it, but we know that people have been hit by some sort of what may be a microwave device, and wearing a tinfoil hat may have helped you. If I was a government employee working in a foreign country right now, I would be buying a tinfoil hat. Absolutely. And if I was building a house, I would be lining like chicken wire in the walls. I wish I had done that when I built. I didn't find out about this until after the house was built, or I would have done it. Yeah, as long as it's not a fedora, exactly. We don't want it to be a fedora. So now I need to look. Okay, futuristic hats. Futuristic hats. Oh, here we go. Let's. That's a bit too much. See, now there may be something like that could work for sure. And that would be made out of metal. You could make that out of metal anyways. So that might be nice. Okay, like there's helmets. You can also put it into helmets, right? Yeah. I mean, you could just put it into a regular ball cap like that. Tinfoil hat. Yeah, and you can just put something on the front of it that makes it, tells everybody that it's made out of tinfoil. Oh, let's pull you guys out here so I can still see you. The tall cone one. Which one was that? This one right here? Oh no, that you must be talking about that one. Like a dunce hat. Oh, ever seen Better Call Saul? I watched like I didn't finish the first season. Maybe I did finish the first season. Yeah, but I didn't watch it past that. It was a good show. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so there's that's kind of could just make a ball cap that is reflective. Yeah, I really like that one. Futuristic holographic baseball cap, and then we put foil lining in it, and that's your tinfoil hat. I really like that one. I mean, that's styling. Of course, we also want something that maybe looks a little more crazy. And this person has lights in his hat. Electromagnetic shielded hat, yeah. So I'm looking for something practical that you could wear at work. I don't know. I'm not getting too many ideas from here, other than the first couple of ones. Yeah, we're still at the VWAP. It's a little interesting that we didn't push through 23 there. Oh, did I just close the... That was weird. Oh, his brother is allergic to electromagnetic waves, so he tarps his house with tinfoil. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that part. And there's that scene where he has to go outside and it's like a huge deal to him and then he feels really sick afterwards or something. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It was weird because when I was reading about it, I was like, I don't think that there's really such a thing as being sensitive to electromagnetic waves. I'm pretty sure that's not really a thing. If it was a thing, you would be able to prove it really easily. I would think. Look at this picture with the dog in the fedora. Better Call Saul is the best show ever. Well, I have to pick it back up again. Can you watch it on Netflix? My wife has been making blankets, and she's been making weighted blankets, and she's been needing new shows. Maybe she should watch that. Because what she was watching last night was kind of dumb. I don't even know what it was called. See, I'll show you. Let me look up the stuff that is actually out there. Let's see. They're here. Let me make it so that it doesn't cover up the tenure. Right. So they got like their big play is that they're all. Oh, these guys are ITAR registered. What does that mean? 3G Shielding Specialties is a US-based manufacturer with the US Department of Defense. Oh. Oh, there you go. So the government already pays for electromagnetically shielded clothing. I did not find this last time that I was... See, here's enclosure shielding. Foam. This is just like special material, I guess. 3G Fielding Specialties. How did I not? But it didn't have a... I searched for hats out. Why don't I see something about hats? Oh, I guess it's just saw shielding. Okay. A lot of ball caps with tinfoil on them. Yeah, here we go. Here's where I'm like, okay. Some of this is a little crazy. Baklava shield. silver coated nylon skull cap with ear flaps. Oh, so you have to cover the ears. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So this one is more of a you know, practical. It needs to cover the ears. A hooded scarf. Okay, so there you go. So a scarf could be, you could make the scarf work, right? Especially if you're a girl. And people would think you're Muslim too. So there's that. There you go. Ladies fashion hat. I like that hat. That could be cute. Why do girls get all of the best clothing? Brain coat. Yep. Eye shield. Undergarments. Yeah. Hoodies. Okay, we could do a hoodie. Nobody would think twice about a hoodie. Yeah. Not at my work. My work is very, very casual. With the hood. The skull cap. Now I'm tempted to the brain coat. Now I'm tempted to buy that. How much is it? $50. I don't know. I would be more into it if it was reflective on the outside. You know, if it was shiny on the outside. Oh, look, there's a Kickstarter. Oh, but it was from 2015. The cap. You know, I could get away with the skull cap with like a beanie too, because I'm bald, right? So I can just say, oh, it's, you know, my head is cold. There's all these. Oh, it's antibacterial, antimicrobial. I don't know, guys. I think this is a good opportunity here. But the bigger issue is I can find tinfoil hats, but I want to find a place like a stock I can buy, or you know, a crowdsourcing thing that I can join up and make money off of it, right? Because I want to make money selling tinfoil hats. I think that it's an unexplored opportunity, and that in 10 years people are going to be like, oh, you know, if only I had gotten into selling tinfoil hats 10 years ago. Never saw that one coming. And here we are. You're ahead of the curve, right? It's just doing what it did yesterday. Yeah. Oh, look at these guys. They look so dumb. But it does cover the ears. That's an important part of it, right? Silver shielding fabric. So did they actually make it? Shield apparel. Yes, here's their website. Oh, they make a bra too. You gotta shield the girls. Oh, look, it comes with a device so that you can see how much electro. Oh, that would be very interesting. Five-panel cap. Do they come in like different colors? Oh, nope, only that color, I think. It's an okay color. I don't think the blue one would work, you know, that's not like everyday wear. Oh, now here you go, dark gray or maybe just black. How much are they? $37? Well, you're at 37 euro, that's like $50, isn't it?
Tucker said, yeah, I'm calling it a day. Even if it moves later, it's out of my time frame. Have a good one, everybody.
Yeah. $45. Okay, well maybe I'll buy a tinfoil hat. I never knew tinfoil hats were such serious business. I bet they made bank. How much? Wait, where was the let's go back.
Alligator said bye.
Okay, so they made $13,000. Well, 13,000 euros. So it wasn't that much.
Alligator said ism/BMI in 7 minutes.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Dominic said GM all.
Maybe we get another move here at the... Okay, so let's pull up our Forex Factory again. Is EMF shielded clothing a scam? Oh, see, these people were worried that of cellular radiation and Wi-Fi emissions could be responsible for cell mutations, like getting cancer or something.
Dominic said, anyone catch the big moves this AM?
I didn't take any trades at that. Oh, here, I'll add go to. Bottom of the range is 21.5, so they just broke out. E-mini looks like it's recovering and maybe wants to go higher again. It's hard to read it, though. And there you go. Cell phones give you cancer. That's what it says. Oh, there's a shielded fedora. Shielded burqa. Oh my gosh. Oh, jeez. See, this is how we keep ourselves out of losing trades, my friends. Apparently, smart meters are a big problem for a lot of people, makes them sick and they have to move. Smart meters, what are we talking about here? Well, I always keep, like, when I'm at my desk, I don't leave my phone in my pocket. I mean, it's kind of making it look like it wants to test down again. But I think that's just it's just faking us out here. ISM. Now remind me what ISM is. Level of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing manager. So we're getting pulling. So let's clear everything. Okay, factory orders was good. Month over month 1.3 versus 1.1. Okay. That was also under expectation. 55.9 versus 57.6. And we're down 2 ticks. I don't know. That also does not make sense. So even though we are down a few ticks, they actually are buying in ZN.
Fran said market is dead. Dominic said interesting to see the ES have a more inverse correlation to the Treasuries late yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, that's more the normal correlation. Bitcoin up just a tad bit more than it was. It actually looks like they've been buying it a little bit through this whole range. It's your house electricity meter. They send a strong Wi-Fi signal so they don't have to be manually read. Anyone else kicking themselves for not investing in Ripple because it was known as the banker's coin, then realizing, of course, it was going to be freaking pumped? No, I mean, I kind of thought that maybe Ripple was one that could move up. Um, but my logic at the time was, well, it's one of the fastest coins. It's the most best performance, I suppose. And so I thought that was a reason why it could go up. But I didn't think that it would become number 2 market cap, not even close. And I'm not entirely sure if that is sustainable. Especially when like with XRP, it's you can't even, where is a place that you can buy it for cash? Like, how can something have a higher market cap than Ethereum, and it'd be so hard to actually even buy at the moment? That seems awfully fishy to me. Youngman Lee says Ripple is very overvalued. It could be. I I'm not able to make charts for that one. Maybe it will in a month when I have enough data stored, but I guess that if I was able to make a chart for it though, that it would be like crazy up, you know? So yeah, I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon at the moment. You know, I don't like buying long-term investments when they're going up, even though I know that there's always those ones that they go up and then it just keeps going and going and going. Okay, well that was a pretty good tick up there. And ZF certainly seemed to take it too. See that little bubble right there is the 23. Oh, it was 57.67, so it was actually even more than that. Look, the cumulative delta in the note is now the highest that it's been all day. This 22 isn't pulling at all though. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we could go a little bit because the last pivot above us was 25. Well, that was weird. My BTC transaction has been stuck for 2 days because I only paid $13 in fees. Ugh, yeah, that's crazy. That's another thing that is really frustrating is like, well, so I have some money to put in the market right now, and I was planning on buying some Bitcoin Cash, just because it would be easier to transfer that around. And Coinbase isn't sending the test transactions so that I can confirm my bank account. There we go. Come on. Let's get a good bid there. Anyways, and so everybody's like, well, you could try this, or you could try that, or you could get Bitcoin here and then transfer it over here. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because just to move it to where I want and then get into the currency that I want to get in is going to cost me like, $20. It's too much. They actually quite a bit sold into that 22 and it held. Use Litecoin. I suppose I could do Litecoin, but to buy Litecoin, that's still the best place is Coinbase, right? I don't know why I can't get the why it just won't send the transactions. It might be something to do with my bank. So I remember when I did this with Google that the transaction didn't show up forever. But that was like a long time ago. Years ago. And I had one of those custom search engines that would search file upload sites, and people used it a lot. And I made money from the advertising on it. Enough to get one payment at least. Yeah, see the thing here is where's something that I can buy cryptocurrency for cash in the United States? Coinbase is the best choice, right? Oh, Strikeman says he's waiting too. I wonder that, I've seen a lot of people talking in chat today, and it only shows me 3 people watching. What's with that?
Dominic said, would you short it?
No, I'm long.
Dominic said, look for a 2 to 3 tick winner. Heath said, so I'm testing out that trailing stop theory. Below, you ever go over your old trades? Was it more profitable?
Was it more profitable? So I don't know if Keith is listening today, but I'll tell you one thing was that anytime that I use any kind of set profit and loss scheme or a trailing stop scheme in my back testing, it always does worse than if I just had the entries or exits. Like every time. It's a really weird thing, but it seems to me that the trailing stop only works when you're catching a really strong momentum move. So if you somehow have a strategy
Below said it was, but using automated stops is too finicky.
Yeah, it's too finicky. That's Balo is exactly right. It's like unless you have your algorithm designed to only catch super strong momentum moves, you'll always end up losing money from the stop because the stop just gets triggered too often. Oh yeah, I guess I just need to refresh my browser because now it says that there's 10 people. I was like, yeah, 3 is really low, but I guess it's Friday. Ah yeah. Come on. Oh. Well, that was disappointing. Oh, yay, maybe we're actually going to go up. And then they dump another 3.5K on there. Yeah. The problem is they want the ZF to go through the VWAP and it hasn't done it yet. It's not staying. And they pull. Did they pull? I guess they didn't pull. I guess they traded down. I still see some volume support for us here. I think it's worth staying in a little bit longer. Young Minley, any thoughts on Bitcoin price action? Well, it kind of looks to me Oh, I don't have it open anymore. Let me pull up my chart first. So here's my chart. You can see it was really dead for a while, and then we had a small move up, and then it's dead for a while, and we had another small move up, but it hasn't quite passed this pivot here. So it kind of feels to me like people have lost interest in Bitcoin, and but the large majority of Bitcoin holders are still just holding it. And then somebody's coming in and trying to pump it, but that pumping isn't generating new interest. So until I see, a move up and it generates more interest. Okay, so that was a good tick up. Nice. See, this kind of like, this is a good example of what I'm talking about, where we ticked
Block
up
sell.
and that people are more interested in it now, because it went up and all of the level 2 is moving and everything. That's good for our position, as long as we're not getting like overextended. That was 5,000 and it didn't tick down. So here in Bitcoin, you could see situations where when we went up and then it generated more interest. When we came down, that actually kind of generated interest. And now it's just kind of like the moves that are just like meh, range for 3 days. That's not good action for Bitcoin hitting a new high. That's my take on it right now. That doesn't mean that it won't hit a new high. It's just what it's doing right now. It seems like they're not interested. Local coins pay with cash or bank deposit. Okay, I'll have to look that one up. Local coins. I've also thought about just doing a tether. I don't know. Do they charge you a fee to move tether between exchanges and stuff? Oh, Keith says, I understand what you're saying, Seth, but did you test this on UB? UB tends to move in one direction without a two tick back tick quite often. No, I mean, I wasn't doing it on UB, I was doing it on ZB. But when I did it on ZB, I wasn't doing a two tick stop. I was doing, whatever the strategy said was like the average back, pullback. So I was using like 6 ticks. And the problem is that there's just too many, you end up with too many trades that get filtered out. It almost always cuts your profits short still. Well, I don't know how I feel about that block order at 23. I mean, they held it when it happened, but I'm wondering if they're just going to ignore it and go through, or if they're going to say, "Oh, well, that was just Tyler exiting, and we can keep pushing without him."
Below said, with your current trade style, Keith, I'd say you'd benefit by just moving your stop into profit before it runs back.
Yeah.
Even if it requires chalking the current price a bit.
Yeah, see, I think that moving your stop up to break even after a certain amount is a much better strategy, because if it's really a winner, it's not going to come back on you. So you can break even and avoid a loss. That's really good. But like the trailing stop sort of a thing, some of the best trades are the ones that break that paradigm, and so you're just kind of cutting your profits short when you put the trailing stop on, at least a programmatic one. Yeah. So that kind of seemed to
Block
resolve
sell.
down. Now he's going to sell it. So the thing with that one is that nobody's hit 21.5 yet. Okay, now they're hitting it.
Heath said okay. So I am moving to B+1 when it goes 3 ticks in my favor. It then just trails by 1 tick until I get taken out.
Okay.
Tucker said I think that a trailing stop can actually hurt profitability.
Yeah.
It's certainly a
generally
trader's job to manage risk, but when the market ticks back to your entry it is often an opportunity to add. Below said sounds good in theory. Fingers crossed.
Hmm. Well, I regret not just taking the break even. This sell here seems like way too aggressive for the location. I'm a little skeptical that they can keep it up. That's why I didn't. When that one happened, that's why I didn't get out. And now we're 2 ticks lower. And I kind of still feel the same way. And I'm wondering if just maybe I'm not.
Dominic said 3 tick short worked in ZF. Below said couldn't imagine trying to play long trades in this kind of market.
Yeah. But I'm keeping it just because my stop is in the right spot. And I just don't think they can take that out. Oh, okay, so now they touched it.
Block sell.
Well, I had my stop at the right spot, but geez. That was a poorly managed trade.
Dominic said casino odds are similar here. LOL.
Well, if they get much past that 13, I want to take another trade. So that's a really good head fake.
Heath said, I understand what you're all saying. If you're going for larger targets. But if you're going for 3 tick targets on average, then getting those big winners on occasion can make up for the. Dominic said, on to the next setup, Seth. Smiling face with open mouth.
Yeah.
Dominic said, me either. LOL. Feeling like there are opportunities, but I just don't see them. Dominic said, from my equities trading experience, you throw in a long here. Dominic said, but, who knows? Tucker said, I think the opportunities are range fades right now. Buying 190s and selling 225s. Tucker said, no position though for me. Dominic said, let them have the power, I say.
No.
Dominic said, smiling face with open mouth, I'll ride along when I can.
See?
Smiling face with open mouth.
If they took it again, it could keep going. Today is a tough day with the boom in the morning. The expectancy is more boom, but we are ranging like crazy, and we have a ridiculously huge initial balance. So I'm thinking a test of the RTH low and then back into the range at 17. But I don't know anything. I'm just a swing trader. Well, my play is, at the moment, is that we're going down. We might take 19 as she goes.
Block sell.
Yep. Okay, so they're not going to give us that opportunity. I don't want to sell 18.5.
Block buy.
Okay, now there's a block buy. I don't even want to mess with this. I've never seen that before.
Dominic said LOL.
For all we know, it was the same person, just... Okay, well,
Dominic
so
said I'll just wait for you two to scrape each other.
here's
Dominic
my
said LOL.
Here's my chance to sell 19 again, like I was saying. But because of the block buy, I don't know the probability. Not to mention there's some absorption here.
Block sell.
Really? It was a pretty strong move down when you think about it. That was just the wrong trade. There's no way that order is going to get filled. Okay.
Dominic said see? Now that aggravates me. Why did I bail early this AM? This down move would have made me pretty profitable. LOL.
If you had caught it. Because it really came out of nowhere, right? That was the thing. This was an okay long. I made 3 ticks out of that. I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna get more 4 ticks, it's gonna be good. And then it came back to break even, and I was like, well, he was probably just getting out. And then he block sells it again. Okay. At that point, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's Friday. All of the news is past, and you're making this range extension move down now with market orders? Out of nowhere. You can't predict that one. So if you had caught it, if you happened to be short at 23, you're just really effing lucky. And I mean, this one could move. This could really move. See him fight it. They were trying to buy it and he pushed it down. Because he wants to push us into yesterday's range. He wants to push us back down to like the one, you know, the 15 area, I think. So he's already below the pivots, right? So now he's going to be looking for this single print at 160 to 150.
Tucker said current low is in line with typical daily range. Expected 18 tick range vs 23 current.
And you can even see the targets. See them? Okay, but they are putting up a fight here. Putting up a fight, but the fact that there's a 65 at 150 indicates to me that the person that's going short wants more than 160. Yeah, but look, he put a 32 on. He wants more. And people pulling there a little bit. A little bit of pulling, a little bit of profit taking. Okay.
Below said choose not to trade on Fridays. Lots of very impulsive moves.
There's lots of opportunities on Fridays too. That's the problem. Okay. I'm gonna take a profit there. Okay. Oh, why did it put a stop there? I'm flat. That's kind of weird. Okay. I am flat though, so.
Below said indeed. I just see why I often see traders who don't trade M.
Yeah. See, this is a problem I think that I have the most, and that I think a lot of other people have, is that you think that something always wins. So I always think that, you know, the market orders are going to win eventually. That's why it took this long here, right? So while we're going up, I think that we're going to keep going up some more. And of course we did, but then, you know, sometimes the limit orders win. And sometimes the limit orders winning turns into market orders the other way. That's when you really see a turn, is when they're really pushing it. And of course, here at this point, the market orders selling it, we're pushing pretty hard. That might be an indication that we're gonna have to pivot here. Wow, 7,000. But it's hard to say if it's going to touch the 150 or not, because these sellers could still want more. I don't know. IHT did say go long, and it's probably good to fade me because the probability on these trades aren't necessarily high. It looks like that was very much the case. I don't think once we saw the second order, did I get out before the second one? Let's see. If we expand this, okay, so there was the first one, and there was the second one at 22, and I got out -4. Well, I'm an idiot, right? So I should have, after that sell order came through, that second one, I should have gotten out at 21.5. Should have just immediately taken the one tick loss. Oh, that's wrong. There you go. That's better. That's still wrong. Yeah, there we go. -1 tick on the day. If I had done it correctly, then I would be up 3 ticks, right? Well, no, I'd be up 2 ticks on the day now. So that was a big mistake. Once that second one came through, you can't go long. No way. I mean, that's because
Block buy.
Wow. Jeez. So there's a problem with the buy here.
Dominic said 2-tick winner long, LOL.
In the spot is that when we saw that first sell at 23, we said, well, maybe somebody bought down there and they're getting out, right? We see the second one, we're saying, okay, I think this is a move that's going to go further. Out, they're really pushing it. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but obviously the sellers are still winning. Now at 17.5, which is kind of a strange place to be putting your trade in. Yeah, Ninja Trader died on me again. Now, what is this guy doing? Is somebody now trying to make a range extension long? Or was that the same big guy getting out? Right? Can't tell. So we have to just watch and see if it gets above this level. That is now the second time the Ninja Trader has crashed on me today. And I don't think it gives any kind of message.
Dominic said I have to do more research on trading psychology. I sometimes think my wins are reinforcing that I really have no idea what I am doing. Smiling face with open mouth.
See, there's no errors whatsoever. So yeah, that's lame. Now here the order was at 75, so let's put all of these in. Okay. Block sell. Block sell. Block sell. Okay, 19 was, we just had block, block, block. And 17.5. Block buy. something like that. I don't know how to say that there was just blocks all over the place. Yeah, I was using Ninja for like 5 years, but decided to go to Sierra because of these stalling issues from my HT. I don't know what the deal is. I suspect that it's one of my indicators, but I don't know which one. Here's the chart. So they pushed up, they're pushing back down. They haven't touched the low yet. Could go lower, could go higher, I don't know. If I was going to make another trade today, it's going to have to be short though, because we're below the VWAP. I don't know. I don't want to take a trade here. In fact, I'm going to step away for a little bit.
Block sell.
Okay. So we saw that block again at 16. Holy shit. What the heck? What is causing this? This is funny that because yesterday on the Futures IO board, I pointed out to somebody, oh, there was these big orders, and a lot of the time we get pegged if they're getting out, like if it's against the current move. And so, of course, now today he shows up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. That's something else, isn't it? Oh, no, it looks like I guess I was right that we're good. They want to touch that 15 still. IHT is saying I'm going to look at 14 for another potential level to buy if they get there. If you look at the screen here, the low from yesterday was, oh wait, that's CB. We want ZN. Here we go. Okay. So here, this was the volume area yesterday. We're coming into it again. And of course here you notice as soon as we got into the single prints, so 17 is the single prints, tons of volume trading through here, and then when we get to 13.5, that's like the low, and then below that it's like, we'll look out below, but this is starting to look like a head fake, right? So it would not be outside of the realm of possibility to break that 13.5 low, which we're going to put right here. There was a 12.5 low. Where was that from? That was from way back in December. I'm wondering, we turn the financial juice guy back on. I'll just keep him really low this time so that he doesn't talk over me if he comes back on. So it seems like there must be something. I remember one time I was trading, and it seemed like we were having a technical move up. And it was really like, oh, we should really be moving up. And it just seemed like there was these big icebergs. Like anytime that they started to make some headway, they'd get slammed down. And I'm like, well, who's this idiot that's selling it? Why are they doing it so aggressively? And then much, much later, it turned out that was the rumor that Fisher was going to be chosen for the Fed. And it was like, it just took time for that information to disseminate to everybody. And so I'm kind of wondering if something similar is going on, that there's some news that really made that seller confident enough that he could sell with those big block orders and keep doing it. Now, if we keep track, okay, so he's short 3, 7, 12, 15, 12, 15, 11, 17, almost 18 short. He could be getting out all over the place too, though. But we haven't seen the corresponding orders to exit. But I don't think that you get short 1,600 contracts just to get out down at the bottom at 155, do you? I suppose you might. I suppose you might do that. Where did I get out at? 16.5? Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we tick up again, I'm going to go long. Like this is their last chance to break out the bottom. Okay, so they touched the bottom. There's quite a battle going on at the 24s in ZB. Yeah. 7,000 contracts traded there. Yeah, the MACD obviously is a trailing indicator, but it kind of indicates that it might be over because this last push was less than the one before that. And it's in ZN, it's actually about to flip. Yeah. Okay. So where was the block buy at? 16.5. Okay.
Dominic said one tick winner. ZF showed downside and I was long, so I lowered my target to get out. Tucker said eyes on that 7,200 bid at 150. Alligator said S1 150.
Good deal. Good trade. Was that one not good? I really
Tucker
liked
said
that
could be
one.
bait. Make folks think the market has strength. Bid up 3 or 4 ticks, then the sellers come back in force. Alligator said no volunteer to break these levels.
And notice how they're not putting up big size at 17. Which is where we got out. So probably a lot of people think that if they're going to buy it here, that they should be able to get filled at 16.5 or 16. I think that might be what's going on there. It's also the move up here is turning out, slowly turning into almost as violent as the move down. When you look at the cumulative delta.
Tucker said I like the absorption trade down here, but I think it's psychologically dangerous. After such a strong move down, people will want to fade and be looking for a reason to. Tucker said I'd be wary of a flip and continued selling towards 120.
Yeah.
Dominic said smiling face with open mouth. Tucker said a sell-off from 280 to 150 isn't enough indication? Smiling face with open mouth.
Long day. It's still only 9:09. Yeah, I should I'll turn up my mic volume there a little bit. Is that better? I hope that's better. I should put a compressor on it or something. I guess I could mess with it here while you guys are... While we're not doing anything and you guys are here, you could tell me what you think about it. Oh, that's not what I want. I want... I forget how I add it. Oh, right, it's filters. Add compressor. Dun dun dun. Not. Two to one. And
Tucker said, I do agree that it's statistically unlikely though. Again, I have no position. Just armchair trading right now, smiling face with open mouth.
And I don't even know what, let's see here, what would 18 date? So let's say 30. Okay. How does that, I don't know if that, you can even tell a difference from that, but let's try that for a while, okay? You tell me if it sounds weird or better or worse or what. And I'm noticing, I'm just looking here in the, you know, actually let's do something else.
Block buy.
Okay, so there he is. He's buying again. And change the output to be like, how about that? That should be quite a bit louder. Yeah. Especially when I'm back here. Yeah, I can see it here on the thing. It's much louder. I can actually even go louder than that. I could actually go like maybe even 16 dB. How about that? Is that too loud? Does it sound weird? And you can probably hear background noise with that, huh? Yeah. Add a gate. There you go. Silence in the background, louder. Catches it pretty good. Yeah, no, I think that should be good. We'll try that. There's no background noise right now though, so it's like, you know, the kids aren't home, so I don't know if it'll trigger when the kids are home, but hopefully that sounds okay. Really, when my bird starts going off, I have to turn it down a little bit. Yeah. I have like a headset, and that would probably be better just because you get the noise cancellation and everything like that, and it's closer to my mouth. But that introduces noise because it's a wireless headset for some reason. So maybe I need to get a different headset. But I think really what I should do is get one of those mic booms so that I can put the mic right next to my face. And yeah, because the blue is really good when it's really close to your face, but when it's a little further away, you have to turn the volume up so high
Jordan
that it
said,
catches too
sorry
much
for
background
throwing in
noise.
a random question, but does anyone know if those big 100K and limit orders are real in ZT?
No, they're not. In ZT, the matching algorithm is different, and if you are a big lot, you get a higher place in line. So they put huge lots on ZT, hoping to get partial fills. And every once in a while, somebody will get hit for everything, and they weren't expecting that much, and they have to puke some of it. So that's why you get the action that you do in ZT. And I only know that because Alligator told us once. But they were only talking about that like not even 3 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, my bird is suspiciously quiet today. Not sure what the deal is.
Dominic said, can you guys teach me something? How exactly do you see those orders? In Sierra, would help, smiling face with open mouth.
In ZT? Or are you talking about the big block buys and like with the reconstructed tape?
Block sell.
Okay. Not what I wanted to see.
Dominic said ZF, ZN and ZB are what I am currently watching.
Okay, so I don't like this trade anymore.
Heath said. Below said Dominic, the block buy / sell order or limit orders.
I got +2 on the day, right? Or +1?
Heath said need to change your combine records to same time and type. Dominic said below both. Smiling face with open mouth. Heath said similar to Jigsaw's reconstructed tape. Below said limit orders are on the DOM, block buy / sell orders are on the time of sales.
Yeah, you just need a reconstructed tape that shows you that shows you all the orders that hit at the same time. ZBF once again. If
Dominic
I were a big
said AHH. Okay. Thank you, Keith, and below.
If I were a big hedge fund asshole guy, I'd be long with a stop below this hefty support between 21 and 17. Yeah.
Dominic said that would have taken me an hour reading through the Sierra documentation. LOL. Heath said LOL. Below said you ain't lying. Dominic said seriously. Below said retest time. Dominic said have to tell you, I have learned more in the last few weeks being here with you guys than I have learned in the last 6 months. Smiling face with open mouth. Below said learned a lot here as well. Solid group.
Well, thank you guys. I'm glad that it's been useful.
Heath said it definitely helps bouncing ideas off other traders.
Yeah, exactly.
Dominic said for sure.
There's just way too much stuff to look at and learn all on your own.
Below said how's that one tick chaser, Keith? Dominic said honestly, do you know what I appreciate about you guys? You don't have to throw in swear words every single time you type. LOL. Tucker said weird evenly stacked 6,700 bids on 160, 155, 150. Tucker said I'm thinking those aren't real / gonna get pulled. Heath said surprisingly it's working really well. Even in the chop. But I'm throwing orders all over the place testing things. Below. Alligator said Tucker could be positions closed at end of day / week.
Yeah, I think there was people looking to get out at 150 or 15 even, and it didn't happen, and they all took profits. And now when you're looking above us, you don't actually see any targets really showing. And especially when you're looking at like this one right here. So 19.5, there's only 38 being offered there. It's like nobody really thinks it's going to go up. So I think that there's a good chance that we've found some balance and we're just going to rotate around this 16.5. But the big orders could show up at any time and try and push us out. We haven't seen him for now 10 minutes. So I knew that we saw them at 17. This Donald Trump stuff with sloppy Steve is amusing to me. What do you say? 50 minutes ago, the Mercer family recently dumped the leaker known as Sloppy Steve Bannon. Smart. It kind of seems to me that Trump has been sour on him for a long time, long before Bannon got fired. And now that Bannon is saying
Dominic
stuff,
said yes, LOL.
He's just unleashing on him, and it's kind of funny. Okay, Bitcoin, I should be pulling that up. I know we're bringing it down so that we can see the bonds, because that's the important thing, but we are getting, I'm going to pull this like way back out so we can see it a little better. We're getting a good uptrend in Bitcoin. So now we had that big move up, and now we have a bar. We've reached the high set 2 bars ago. So like 8 hours ago. So this could maybe go up a little bit more. But the pivot is at 16.5. Yeah, ES is looking weak to me still. Oh no, wait, that's... I don't know what the deal is with ES actually. I couldn't see the whole chart. I was only seeing this. And I was like, doesn't look good, guys. Well, they recovered, but they didn't make a new high. They may yet do it though.
Heath said so below. How much more profitable was the trailing stop vs your 3-tick TP? Dominic said stocks are like, oh yeah? So what?
Yeah. Well, I don't think that the news was as negative as it seemed like at first. And I'm feeling really good that I didn't take a long. In fact, I think only one of my trades today was long, right? Oh, okay. No, I had to buy there. Okay, yeah, I had to buy after
Below said still needs more
drop
testing.
it down. But I didn't trade until, you know, good 45 minutes after it happened, just because I could see in ZF. Okay, this was the news. So some of this move up was just on no volume at all.
Heath said okay. So you didn't go through all of your previous trades.
And then as soon as the volume started coming in, it started going down. So I was like, well, this doesn't seem right. And I think that the best theory that we have, the best explanation that I see being offered out there is that
Below said not yet, just tested triggered trailing stops last night on replay.
we're at a pretty critical level on USD, and they don't want to push through quite yet. And we've seen this kind of behavior before, and yeah, so like this kind of behavior where we underperformed in December before. So I think that the market is just discounting it and ignoring it. Okay, so I have to turn the mic off for a little bit. I'm going to leave this on since I'm not sure if the the action is over, and I kind of want to be able to see record this Bitcoin action that we're seeing here. So I will talk to you in a second. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like we've really moved a whole lot, although they did touch 18. Well, that was already a long time ago, huh? Wow. It was almost a good 15 minutes for that tick to touch 16. So, I'm gonna say it's over. Yeah, IFP, I don't think anyone ever wants the nickname Sloppy followed by their name. There's so many ways you can interpret it. Maybe we'll go into it on Monday, but I mean, it's a real kill shot. Bandon's pretty much done. I don't think he comes back from that, because that's all anybody's gonna think of is how sloppy he is. So we'll see. Anyways, good day. I'm gonna just review here really quick. So we took one when we were first coming down. So when we were, oh man, we really have to zoom out. So when we were down here, we took one and we got out. So it was an okay trade. It just didn't happen. Sometimes they don't happen. This one again, I thought was a good trade, but a good entry, but we didn't manage it very well because we did get 3 ticks of favorable and we still took -4 on it. Just big orders coming out of nowhere really left me flat-footed, and I just didn't adjust to that very well. So I think I need to remember, next time I see that big order and it's not, within the plan parameters, I really need to get out, or at the very least, I can't be taking -4, because those came out multiple times and I could have broken even after the second one. So I was thinking maybe I could get out with a limit. I should probably just be punching out immediately, because if that happens all the time and then it goes higher, that's okay. But it's I think that the ticks I'd lose from that is going to be a lot less than the ticks I lose from letting it go to my stop. This one, really good trade. Could have gotten 2 more ticks out of it, but that's okay. And this one again, pretty good trade. So I ended up 15, but then when you add the commissions together, I think it's break even. So I don't know. It's been a crappy week. That's kind of an okay ending to a crappy week. So I will see you guys on Monday, which I'm thinking could be another interesting one. Let's just preview here really quickly. What do we got? I know there's not very many people watching left on the stream yet, but I do, for those watching replay and for my own benefit, just want to look here real quick. Next week, what do we got? Is next week going to be a good week or not? Or do we have, yeah, we have auctions in Japan, Euro, in USD, yeah. So, wow, there's lots of stuff though. Summer credit. Next week might be a difficult week, so I'm gonna play it cautious. All right, so that's it. I will catch you later.